Oh, nice to see my buddy Alti is on the call. All right. Let's get started. Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Williamson. I am the chairman of the board of the Corona Chamber of Commerce for 2020. I will tell you this, it is a beautiful day in Corona, California. So if you're not here, this is the proverbial Chamber of Commerce Day. It is just as good as it gets in the fall, I'll tell you that. Today we have a really interesting agenda that's going to provide you with information you need to know to help you conduct your business. And as we're entering the last round of a very trying year of 2020, we're looking ahead. And on the call with us today to help present the agenda is Kim Maybon. She's the chair-elect. In a few weeks, she's going to be the 2021 chairman of the board of the Corona Chamber of Commerce. And she's with Creative by Design. And she's got a few announcements to share with us right now. Kim.
Thank you, Don. Today's event is sponsored by Peterson Brothers Construction. For more than 35 years, PBC has become an industry leader in masonry, pavers, and production concrete flatwork. PBC Companies is an employee-owned organization comprised of over 400 highly skilled professionals, all of whom are committed to providing the most innovative and superior building solutions. Eldon and Carrie Peterson, founders of Peterson Brothers.
I'll get Jeff Gibson on right now.
Bobby, you need to mute.
Thanks.
Founders of Peterson Brothers Construction have worked diligently since 1983 to establish and represent the company as leaders of the industry. Thank you to PBC for sponsoring today's meeting. Don?
Thanks, Kim. Remember, as we're going through our presentation today, to use the chat button for your questions. This way we can coordinate the questions, not have duplicates, and maintain a semblance of order on our call. So remember to use the chat.
Make sure. All right.
Bobby, you need to mute, Bobby.
All right.
The Corona Chamber has continued to be your resource for prosperity. Every day we're here in this office, our staff, our CEO working hard, coming up with every possible angle to help our business community here. So our meeting today is part of that effort, and we want to thank each and every one of you for being part of that today. Kim has something to share with us now.
These updates are here to help our members, and if you happen to be on this call but are still not a member of the Chamber, or if you know a neighboring business that would find Chamber membership beneficial, please connect with Robert Yanez to become part of our Chamber family. We service a regional landscape, but we are not bound by geographical limits. If you refer a member, you will receive a free advertisement in Corona Business News. We have several incentives for referrals and new members coming in before the end of 2020. So don't delay. Don?
Thanks, Kim. We'd like to start off today with an update from our legislative advocate, Jeff Gibson. Jeff is with the Occidental Communications Group. He's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on every level of government. And every week at this time, he provides us with important information. So Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you. If indeed,
Thanks,
Jeff
Don.
there we go.
Thank you, Don. I appreciate that. Hold on one second here while I pull up on my laptop. Okay, are we there?
Gotcha.
All right, perfect. Good morning, everybody. So we are reviewing the platform for our 2021 activity. And if we could go to the first slide, as we, this is the 10th year in which we've been doing this. We've been very, very successful at it, have worked extremely hard to limit the impacts of the increase in regulation and everything that's come down the path that we don't need to review. This year, obviously, we have a number of different priorities for you. And so if we can go to the first slide, we can discuss that. The next slide. So we really have 7 things that we've identified in this that obviously none of these are going to be news to you. other than possibly the context. And the first is 9 months into the COVID emergency, California has the 5th highest unemployment rate in the country. We have according to the legislative analyst, and that number is from the federal government. We have the highest taxation rates across several categories in the nation, according to our own legislative analyst's office, which is a nonpartisan analysis of all legislation in effect and coming into effect. We have 25% less COVID-related worker support than the majority of states. We have the threat of additional shutdowns before the start of 2021. I think we can all agree that the governor has been fairly clear in his interest in doing a likely entire state shutdown. Up to 50% of restaurants and wage employers are facing bankruptcy or complete closure, so more Chapter 7 than Chapter 11. Number 6, the loss of almost all use of independent contracting services has a gigantic bottom line impact for a number of employers, no matter what they're in. And then finally, the governor has indicated that we're facing another 9 additional months of emergency orders. So it was in this context that we sat down to look at, we generally have, and we continue to have, about a 50-point plan of things that we analyze legislation based on. And so that was the context for doing that. Can we go to the next slide, Stephanie, please? So the piece of the, was there another slide there, Steph?
No, this is the next one.
The 4th slide? Oh, okay.
So this is the one you were just talking about?
No,
and then this is the next one?
Yeah.
Do you want me to
Okay,
skip to
then
a
go to
different one?
Yes, if you could skip to, right, exactly. Here we go. Here's what we're getting into, and save that the previous slide with the results for the end of it. So I apologize for those being out of order. So our theme here is recover together, and our goal here is that we are asking the state, we've done this in previous recessions, to not impose any new regulatory or tax increases until the state unemployment level is back to full employment, which it was basically from about January 2019 through March 2020. Several states, about 18 states have full employment levels currently, and several others, about 18 other states are ranging down into full employment levels. So the recession is completely over for them. So if 36 other states can do this, and these are major states, we can do it here in California and still be wise about how we respond to COVID and emergency orders. So our strategy here is 3-pronged. The first is to create common sense tax and healthcare reform. We definitely recognize that COVID is an actual emergency. It needs to be dealt with. But again, other states are doing this as well. So we need to continue, just as every employer who's on the phone with us here is continuing their daily activity despite the emergency and going out of their way to keep people safe. Well, we need to do that here as well. The second is eliminating unnecessary regulation. And this burden hits employers at the local, regional, and state levels across the board. The third is to achieve the goals that we outlined in the last time we talked about Corona 2025, which is the elimination of 1.5 million hours of traffic on our roads, with the addition of about 7,000 new jobs over the course of the next 5 years. And so that's the vision we have. Next slide. Any questions?
At this time.
Okay. All right. So how we achieve our purpose? we're very, very clear in how we continually we approach this. So first thing we do is we monitor proposals for a local, regional, state, and national levels that affect our main three goals. Two, we sit down on a regular basis with the leaders, and we have these phone calls regularly now. The third is we report out monthly to the Chamber of Commerce, to the Chamber Board, and Corona business owners, which we are now doing through this call. So, and one of the chief things that we're looking at is that California's unemployment rate is more than 34% higher than the national rate of 6.9%. And so there are a lot of other bipartisan solutions that we look at advocating as part of our way to restart the country, because we know those are working in other locations. So next slide should be on development. Yes. So this really is something that you're going to be hearing a lot about in this next year, no matter what ends up happening. The governor's plan, we talked about this a lot before the COVID emergency, the governor has set a goal of 1.8 million new housing units in the state of California by 2028. And as part of that, has imposed requirements on all local jurisdictions other than Marin County, which was left out for reasons that only the governor would have to be able to describe. But for the other 57 counties, imposed requirements that currently would require the city of Corona to build or plan and substantially move towards building 6,078 affordable units of housing, which is about 12% of our current stock, within the next 8 years. And that would basically provide an increase of 25% in our rate of growth, which was established 2010 to 2018. So growth not ebbing, growth increasing substantially. Now, one of the things that we do for you is we cut through some of the bureaucratic talk to talk about the bottom line impacts. Excuse me, it's not COVID. And affordable housing is only built in large numbers by builders who dedicate part of a commercially priced project. And so, and usually that's anywhere between, basically the cap where it's going to pencil out for a builder is at 15% affordable. Presuming which is a 1/6 split, basically. Assuming a 1/6 split, so 1 unit of affordable for every 6 of 6 units otherwise, means that the city has to plan and move forward on the development of 36,468 affordable and market rate housing units by 2028, or face sanctions from the courts, potential sanctions from the courts, and potential for even a state takeover of our housing, of our ability to plan business and housing locally. This 36,468 units. Now, I'm not saying anyone on the city council wants this to be had, and I want to be really, really clear. This is the governor's proposal. It has been pushed through the administration. Largely, there have been a couple of enabling pieces of legislation that have been pushed through, but for the most part, this is the governor's plan. This is not a when we say Sacramento, usually that means legislative, that the 3 branches of government are basically in agreement that this is what's going to happen. You've got a piece of legislation, it's been signed by the governor, or the governor started it and the legislature agreed, or however. In this case, we are very specific that this is the governor's plan that he laid out. We were in the room when his advisors at the time were laying it out, and we were shocked then, and we're still working through it. But that's 171% that's basically 71% of all of the housing units currently in position in Corona. So the three ways that we're going to work over the next year to deal with this are: one, we're going to monitor development proposals throughout the Corona region, including the downtown area. The second is we're going to help lead the effort to coordinate increases in transportation and infrastructure funding from the state to match future demand. It may sound great to say that you want to give a new home to everyone in need of a new home in California. It's a laudable goal in and of itself. To say that you're going to do that without dedicating an additional amount of funds for the transportation, the schools, all of the other things that go along with that planning is not a recipe for success. And we're going to definitely be a voice in Sacramento and with our officials to say that we need to have the roads, the bridges, all of the different pieces of infrastructure. If they need us to be serious about building new housing, we need to be serious about defending the people that are already here, so that that new housing makes sense. And then work with city officials as they respond as they try and respond accurately to the required changes in the city housing element and other planning efforts. And so those are the three big things that we're doing in development. And the factoid that we've included is that since the governor's plan was announced, the rate of new housing development has actually slowed to a 5-year low and is running a very, very low fraction of the governor's plan for housing. Some of this can be said that it's a ramp up stage, but it at this point it definitely is something that is really falling to the cities as opposed to the state, and so we're trying to respond to that. Before we move forward, any other questions?
Yes, we have two questions so far. One is, how are we going to handle the traffic issues with that kind of growth?
Well, I think I hope that we have handled that. I mean, that's definitely our job is to advocate for more. In fact, Stephanie, you can go to the next slide because that'll also get into that. We recognize it should be transportation. We definitely recognize that transportation is an absolute key here. We went through basically a 24-year period in which no infrastructure was added along the 91 or the 15, and that created an incredible backlog as roughly 2.5 million homes moved into the region. Were developed within the 2.5 million people moved into the Inland Empire region using the 15 and the 91 corridors. And so we were one of the first voices to redevelop those roads, and we will continue to do that work in Sacramento and Washington. So that's the big piece there. So our next platform focus areas are transportation, infrastructure, the environment, and energy. And I say this as someone who today has already received 3 texts, even though the skies are blue and it's about 74 degrees outside where I am, that the governor has planned, and this is according to what San Diego Gas and Electric are sending out, that the governor has issued a declaration that at any point my power may be turned off for up to 7 days because the wind is blowing. And so we've worked very successfully with the governor on a number of different items, but these are the actual warnings that are being sent out. So I'm just reporting, folks. This is definitely something that we need to work on holistically, including transportation, including roads, all sorts of infrastructure, and that's what we're going to do here. We have 7 points to go through, looking at our first point is always the movement of people and goods through what all modes of surface transportation, autos, transit, bicycles, and other transportation modes. you may seem strange to include bikes there, but it is required by the state to have that plan, and so that's why we include it there. Because if we were in Sacramento, we would be asked why we didn't include bikes, and why we aren't encouraging people to commute to Orange County using bikes in mass. Number 2 is review and consider policies for, and this is the holistic approach of all forms of public infrastructure. So this is water, sewer, storm drainage, solid waste, any sort of ability to generate electricity or telecommunications or energy of any type. And so that's, we really try and dig in as best we can on infrastructure. And I can be happy to include take any questions you have on this, but it's fairly self-explanatory. Number 3, looking at ways to increase the ability of public services from police to fire to K-16 schools, which includes Norco College, and the provision of health care, whether it's by public agencies, nonprofits, licensed care facilities, hospitals, etc. So then, and then moving on to, we are always trying to fit what you are doing as in your private life, in your business, help you fit those into the sustainable and green initiatives required for the city of Corona by the state of California and the federal government. And so that's definitely something that we are always monitoring. That's number 4. Number 5, it's into a number of different water quality issues that we've handled in the past. The Obama administration, just before they left in 2016 and actually in 2017 in January, tried to impose a new regulatory scheme called Waters of the U.S. that would have impacted the development of the 91 and the 15 freeways in just about every body of water other than swimming pools locally. And we spent a great deal of time lobbying against that, and we're lauded by the U.S. Chamber for our work in that. Number 6, review and consider transportation improvement plans. This may seem fairly straightforward to anyone who's ever been stuck in local traffic, but it is definitely a transportation improvement plan. A TIP is something that is a multi-year process. So, and we are very active in those. And looking at number 7 is the review and consideration of air quality standards. So those are definitely something that we deal with a lot as well. And finally, on energy, again, this may seem like common sense to most of us, but California, up to 6 million Californians have had their energy shut off in the last year, either because there wasn't enough energy to go around, or because of the incredible take of the wildfire planning. And so that's always going to be something that's very, very difficult for us to deal with. And that's why we have focused on developing energy sources and California's energy portfolio so that we have a sound, lasting, reliable, and competitively priced, uninterrupted energy supply. It just is one of those things we have to do. So in any case, on to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is basically our final policy slide, and hits 4 areas that you would probably recognize as being very key to your business on a daily basis. Business attraction and attention and retention, whether that's at NAVC, as we talk about in the first item there. Number 2, that we work to make Corona a nationally competitive place to locate your business because we have a strong post-secondary education system. We have the community infrastructure in place for people to locate here from outside of the area. And so very happy to continue to do that work. Obviously very focused on the cost of doing business. One of the big concerns for us currently is that the state has a $100 billion ask into the federal government for unprecedented aid, across the board aid. And it's unprecedented because it's never been done before, especially at this level. It's been asked of Democrats, it's been asked of Republicans. Both sides have said no. And so, and we have a long-term structural deficit, obviously, that needs to be handled. It has come roaring back after being sidelined about 4 years ago. And that's constantly a threat to either services or, more importantly, taxes and more regulations, more fees to try and close those holes. So we're going to spend a lot of time on that. We continue to try and encourage local, regional, and state government cooperation so that we can streamline unnecessary requirements and actually just get rid of them. The requirement that we talk about quite often is the Prop 65 requirements that businesses face, and then oftentimes Cal OSHA or other agencies can come in and cite a business or a government agency for putting up Prop 65 signs because the region that they were putting the signs up on were supposed to be unimproved. And so we're trying to eliminate the double jeopardy that people fall into. And so in going through each of these, the work that we generally do for you really gets to the bottom line of the cost of doing business. And that is the biggest piece of the puzzle that we'll get into in results in a minute or two. So wait for that part. The education outreach that we do, obviously we are here every Wednesday when we are allowed and when we can safely travel. We do that. We do a number of different types of outreach. And so that's always a key part that we want in the platform. And then on workforce issues, we work very closely with the Norco College, UCR, March Air Force Base, NAVC, any government agency or any education opportunity to build a capacity for the workforce to participate in the economy that hopefully we will be able to rebuild in 2021. So, and then Stephanie, if we can go to the results slide, which ended up being third. It was so each year over the last 10 years, we have worked very, very hard to give you a bottom line on what we are achieving. And you can see here, Kim Maybon very kindly and professionally put together basically a target wheel, as it were, of just 10 bills of the dozens that we took positions on that we defeated. And if those bills had been passed, the California Chamber of Commerce and the Legislative Analyst's Office put that as a cost of about $71,750 annually per employee. So that's not per employer, that's per employee per year. Now, these aren't the bills that are produced by on the first day of the legislature, so you can get a happy press release out to your anti-business group. Now, because we know obviously there are groups on the other side of what the Corona Chamber is doing. These are actual pieces of legislation that moved very far through the process, and in some cases actually were passed by the legislature and vetoed by the governor. And so these are things that were moving, and we worked very, very hard to eliminate. Generally, our average is about $12,500 a year. Last year, over the last year, the legislature, partly because it was the end of a 2-year session, partly because we had a new governor who is extremely ambitious, and then obviously we had the pandemic experience as well. That number ballooned to $71,750. And we discussed it pretty thoroughly here over the course of the legislative session on why that had ballooned and what we were doing about it. So ultimately, we presume, since we still have the emergency orders that we're living under, and the legislative caucuses didn't change that much, if at all, that this is definitely going to be something that we are going to be living with for quite some time. So in any case, happy to answer any questions that you have. This is the draft proposed legislative platform for 2021. We will come back and discuss it again on the 9th, and by the 16th be able to move on that and approve it and get it out to our legislators.
Jeff, great job. Thank you so much. A lot of information there. I actually go back and have to listen to this again, so I pick up everything that you present, and this is very valuable today. And again, this is why you want to be part of this Chamber of Commerce. Is you see that dollar saved per employee. I mean, this is we really make significant efforts on behalf of this business community. Stephanie, do we have any questions for Jeff?
Yes, I have two related to the affordable housing that you talked about earlier on. The first one is the 1.8 million affordable housing units the governor is implementing part of the RHNA numbers, or is this a separate mandate?
That's the RNHA numbers. Yes, those are those numbers. Yep.
Great. Next one, we need to continue to tie housing to economic development, transportation, and housing together. Is the Chamber working with WRCOG on the development of an economic development corporation?
No, we aren't. We're focused. We have worked with WRCOG in the past. I'd be happy to answer anything that's a fairly specific question, so I'd be happy to answer that offline. But to the point that currently, no, and to my knowledge, we haven't been approached by WRCOG to do that.
Thank you. Those are all the questions in the chat.
Okay, we don't promote specific businesses on this call, but this made me smile because Liz showed up in the chat room. I live in Irvine. I received an Edison notice my power could be cut off. My office is closed due to COVID, and my car will turn to a charging station, but I can still cook and heat at my house. Signed, Leah Peterson, Southern California Gas. Now that made me laugh because we have the gas company. Thank you, Leah. I'm going to turn it over to hear what Kim can tell us right now. Thanks again, Jeff.
Thanks, Don. 2021 employment law posters are available for pre-order now. Every Corona Chamber member can reserve an English poster for free by Friday, December 11th. Visit mychamber.org and click on the store to get yours today. Additional posters in English and Spanish are also available. You can be fined upwards of $17,000 for not displaying properly, so make sure you secure yours right away. Something that may be new to your company this year is remote workers. Every single remote employee must also be given a physical poster by their employer. So make sure you log on and get your free poster today and order any additionals that you might need. Don?
Thank you, Kim. I just want to tag on this benefit. We really want to thank our President and CEO, Bobby Spiegel, for hunting down this new benefit that we're given this year. These employment posters are an expense that we're eliminating for our members. Bobby did a great job in sourcing this and making this something that we can offer you. So thanks, Bobby, for taking care of business here at the Chamber of Commerce and always finding a way to help our businesses. Next, I would like to talk about December 14th. It'll be our last Coffee with an Entrepreneur for a year. Chantel Blash from Meridian Pacific Insurance Services. I met Chantel recently. She's a dynamic person with an incredible experiences. In business, she's been involved with carnivals, all sorts of things. She's originally from Switzerland, just a most interesting person. And I know she's going to give us a really good presentation. And the Coffee with an Entrepreneur is a free event that we're present in connection and in conjunction with the city of Corona. So please RSVP there on the screen. You can register there and join us on Monday, December 14th for our next and final Coffee with an Entrepreneur for 2020. Kim.
Save the date for Installation and Awards Gala coming up on February 25th. We will thank Don Williamson for his leadership in 2020, install our new board of directors, and present some awards to incredible businesses and individuals. I will also be sharing my vision as your incoming chair. More details will be shared soon. I hope to see you participating. Don?
Thanks, Kim. And that's also when we're going to celebrate Kim's rise to the chairman of the board of the Corona Chamber of Commerce. Next, let's talk about FLAG. As everyone knows, we're experiencing a very trying time with COVID cases increasing again, and our healthcare workers are facing new challenges and fatigues. The Corona Chamber Foundation, in partnership with Frontline Appreciation Group of Corona, or FLAG as we call it, will be collecting funds to provide meals of gratitude for these tireless workers. It's a win-win for everyone. The community gets a chance to show their appreciation. The healthcare community receives support, and we are able to patronize local restaurants, which are also hurting very badly right now. The Corona Chamber FLAG and the Corona Chamber Foundation will be providing lunch for the ICU staff at Corona Regional Medical Center today. To take part in future meals, we are accepting donations at givebigcorona.com. This is something we've been doing throughout the year. Mary Barnett organized FLAG, and we are just met with such gratitude when we bring those meals to these hardworking people, many of whom can't be with their families because of COVID right now. It's just, these are tough days, as everyone on this call knows. So if you can, please make a donation to FLAG, and let's show our healthcare worker heroes that we do appreciate what they're going through right now. Okay, at this time, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce someone that I actually feel paternal pride over. Jacque Casillas is our Vice Mayor right now in the city of Corona. She is, and I will tell you that we've had 121 city council members in the history of Corona. We just elected our 122nd and our 123rd. And about 10% of them were actually born here in the Circle City. And Jacque is one of those rare people that actually was born here and now is on our city council. As Vice Mayor, and there's no guarantee that she will be the mayor in 2021, but if history is followed, she might be. And if she is, whoever the next mayor is, unless it's Jim Steiner again, will be our 56th mayor in the history of Corona. This is information that I have researched and find. Don't ask me for a list till I publish it, because I work really hard on coming up with these numbers and names. So Jacque is just a very bright young lady who I am just I'm proud of, and I'm my honor and privilege to introduce you to her at this time. Jacque.
You are too kind, Don. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate the mentorship and all of the advice and guidance through these last few years. It's been much needed and well received. I'm very happy to be here with you all. Thank you for having me here. Thank you, Bobby, for the invitation, and all of you who are on. This is a really great opportunity for us to be able to share with you all what is happening at City Hall and what we're looking forward to, what we're working on, and to answer any questions you may have. We've been really fortunate to have a very great relationship with the Corona Chamber, and looking forward to just keeping that relationship close and fostering it for the years to come. So keeping with today's tradition, I'm going to talk a little bit about the 2020 year in review. I'm going to cover a few things from our 6 priority areas. And then I'm going to share a little bit about the city priorities for 2021 and my personal goals, which are very much in line with everything, with many of the themes you all have talked about today. So let's just jump in and talk a little bit about 2020. I don't need to share or stress just how difficult of a year it was. I know you all know it. You're feeling it, but even though we've been challenged, it's also been a very productive year for City Hall. We've been able to really address a lot of our big issues and get down to business and get into the weeds on a lot of the things that have been, of interest to the business community and of interest to our residents. So I'm happy to be able to report back on just a few of those. Our city manager, Jacob Ellis, will be presenting a more thorough list and review to council, and I'm sure you all will get all of that soon. So I'm just going to highlight a few of the things. So 2020 in review in our 6 priority settings. I'm going to jump in to finances because I know that's near and dear to this community, to the chamber community. So let's just jump right in. We are now on course for a financially secure future. One where we will be able to provide the services that our residents expect. And a big reason why we're able to do this is that we have moved towards a proactive debt retirement approach. We have formulated an aggressive financial management strategy to pay down our unfunded liabilities, to bolster our reserves, to save more than $100 million and pay off unfunded pension obligations in only 10 years. There was a really great presentation by Mr. Ellis a couple of council meetings ago, or it might have just been the last one, to be honest. Time is irrelevant during COVID, but it's really wonderful to see the approach that we're now taking at City Hall, thanks to, in large part, the genius of our city treasurer, Chad Williamson, and guidance. It's been a team effort, but it's comprised of 3 big parts. The first is issuing pension obligation bonds that we're going to pursue right now since the interest rates are so low, in order to freeze a large amount of these obligations at a better rate. We're currently paying 7%. We'll be able to freeze it at about just under 3%, hopefully, if those rates stay. And this is going to save our community over $100 million, about 109, and be able to, in the term of that bond, and it will allow us to save down the pension, pay down the balance quicker. We're currently at a 25-year rate. We're going to go down to a 13, but with the second item in this proactive debt retirement plan, we'll be able to shave off the last 3 years with a pension stabilization trust. Now, this is a brainchild of our treasurer. This has been thoroughly researched. It's quite safe for us. It was presented to council, and it will be establishing a Section 115 irrevocable pension stabilization trust. So we will be able to put money that's currently in our budget balancing reserve into this irrevocable trust. It will build wealth, and on year 10, when we're able to finally pay off the balance of the unfunded liability, that money will accrue to a level where we will be able to pay off the remaining balance and shorten the length of that loan from 13 years to 10 years. This is really a game changer for our city. And the third item, the big reason why this plan is going to work, is because we're going to have and maintain an aggressive pension management policy. We are going to pursue the development of a pension management policy that ensures strong financial management of the pension obligations, regardless of who's sitting on the council seat, so that we don't, spend our savings frivolously, and we actually continue to pay off this debt aggressively. So this is a really big deal. I know you all can appreciate the fact that, it's a long time coming. It's something that all council members, even council members prior to us sitting here on the dais, have understood to be a serious issue for our city, and one that we need to just, address, and the sooner the better, because it's not going anywhere and it just keeps building. So I'm very proud of the fact that we are on this course, and I'm proud of the plan that we have set in motion to proactively pay down and retire these debts. So that was one of the biggest things I think that came out of 2020. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about, highlight our focus on the strong economy. We are on a new re-energized path for a stronger local economy. You will have seen a lot of new team members, but two of the things that I'm most proud of that have been addressed in 2020 is issuing an RFQ for professional services to develop a robust strategic plan to guide Corona's economic future. Separate and apart from our city's strategic plan, which is currently underway, we're also developing this economic development strategic plan, because you all know and can appreciate that a strong economic development plan, an actionable, tangible plan, is the lifeblood that will keep our city moving and will make this the great city and continue to make this the great city that we all enjoy. So that has been issued, it's underway. Our new development director, Jessica Gonzalez, is leading the way to get that done. And we're really looking forward to more than likely tapping you on the shoulder and partnering with you to make sure that we develop a really good economic development strategic plan for the city of Corona. And the second thing in this area of focus is our downtown redevelopment revitalization plan. So I know you've heard a lot about our, the redevelopment of the Corona Mall, and that's a really big piece of downtown, but it's not all of downtown. I was born and raised in downtown. Downtown is the Circle and it's 6th Street, and there's a lot of richness, a lot of history, and it's bigger than just the mall. And so there's a focus now, and we have issued an RFQ as well for professional services to develop a compelling redevelopment vision for the 6th Street and downtown area. This is actually one of our city manager's strong points. He came over from Gilbert, Arizona, having done a downtown redevelopment revitalization for that town, for that city. They call themselves a town, but they're actually twice as large as Corona. And so we're really excited about having someone who has done this, leading the team here in the city, and really focusing on this bigger picture for the downtown than just the Corona Mall. And what I hear a lot from our residents is about the downtown, about the heart of the city. What is that going to look like? How can we move closer to getting that where it should be? I'm sorry, Stephanie, I think I saw a sign. Is that a time sign?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, flag me if I've talked too long.
Oh, no. That's just my notepad. I'm taking notes on what you're talking about.
Okay, so the third area of focus has been a priority in 2020 that I want to highlight has been sound infrastructure. And we heard Jeff Gibson really speak about, the need for infrastructure, the fact that, we can't let infrastructure kind of fall by the wayside. We need to invest in our roads. We need to invest in maintenance. If it is a key point and it cannot be an afterthought to our economic development and to our growth in the city. And one of the items that I'm most proud of that we have been able to really get right has been the McKinley grade separation. You know that 2 years ago when we first came on council, Councilman Speak and I led the effort to have an ad hoc committee that really reviewed the grade separation. And I'm proud to say that those efforts yielded a very concrete and clear path forward to get this project within budget and on time. The project is within budget and on time. We've actually secured more grants and now have an overage of funds, which is great because you always need a little bit of contingencies. That is a fully funded infrastructure project, and it is big for the city of Corona. Bridges are the most expensive thing you can build. And we thankfully have a coalition of both regional partners and state partners that allowed us to secure the funds to make this project happen. But this project was on the shelf for over a decade before we were able to make it happen. So that was big. 2020 yielded the funds to make this happen, and we're on the right place. So priority area number 4 in 2020 was safe communities. This is probably what I hear most from constituents. Residents want to know that they live in a safe and family-friendly city. and they want to feel safe at home. They want to feel safe when they're out in the parks and out in the community. They want folks to get the resources that they need if they need them. And they want this to be a place where, you know, you can walk your dog at 9 o'clock at night and feel completely safe doing so. And so I'm happy to report back that in 2020, we really refocused on those issues. And two of the things that I want to highlight about our safe community results in 2020 has been our homeless strategic plan, which I know Mayor Steiner has talked to you all about, and our expansion of the Hope Outreach Team in police and PD. So our homeless strategic plan, which in and of itself is really something that you can be proud of. You can be very proud that your city has not only put together a strong plan, a tangible plan, an actionable plan, but we've supported it with resources, with the money needed to make this happen. And our staff is securing, our staff of one, who's part-time, has secured grants and is working in partnership with a regional coalition of cities and other partners to put into effect our homeless strategic plan. And this is going to allow us to really provide services for our homeless neighbors and allow us to be proactive about addressing homelessness in our city. The expansion of the we have significantly enhanced the hours and availability. They are now available in the evenings and the weekends. We went from 2 members on the Hope team to 4 members on the Hope team. And this is really great because if you've ever met one of our Hope officers, they are boots on the ground. They know our homeless neighbors. They know them by name. They visit them every day. They have those touches, and you know, research shows that it takes over 40 touches to develop the trust for one of our homeless neighbors to actually say yes to services. And so in partnership with our homeless team, the Hope team really helps us address emergencies with our homeless neighbors and to get them services and ideally move them on the path to secure housing. Our second to last area of focus in 2020 was creating a sense of place. This is one that I'm really proud of. This is, I know, probably, you know, it's that soft stuff that maybe not everyone thinks of when it comes to leadership, but I think is so critical to the fabric of our community and to building community. In 2020, we really focused on and identified the fact that we need to foster a sense of place. And one of the things that we created in 2020 was volunteer cleanup events. Now, as Dawn said, I was born and raised here. I grew up going to Corona Beautiful events that were organized by a lot of our local leaders. And to me, as a youth volunteering for my city, you know, it really gave me a sense of ownership. It gave me a sense of pride in my community. I made great friends, and it was a day of just giving. And being in service allowed me to, you know, deepen those roots in my community and build those relationships with my colleagues in school and also adults who were giving of their time. And so while a one-day larger cleanup is still probably a bit further off than what we can accomplish now and what we see both a desire to participate in and a real need for are these quarterly volunteer cleanup events. And so you've seen a few. I did a cleanup off of Cresta. We recently did a cleanup more in the downtown. Our city church has been a phenomenal partner with the city of Corona, volunteering their congregation to go out and spend a Saturday as a congregation to clean parts of our town. And so this has begun, and it is now a regular volunteer cleanup event. You probably saw a video as well. Our new director of communications has really cranked up the video content. And so you probably saw a video that compelled you to make your mama proud and sign up for our next community event. And I highly recommend it. It will make you proud, it will make your mama proud, and it will make our city beautiful. So I hope that that is something that you can appreciate, pass on, and ideally participate in yourself. And lastly, in our year in review in 2020, I want to highlight the last area of focus, which has been to really make this a high-performing city, a high-performing government. We want to be able to take the tools of the trade in the private sector and really shape them into this, tools that we can use in the public sector. And two of the things that we've delivered on in 2020 has been one, taking on a citywide strategic plan. And we just had a community meeting last night via Zoom. Unfortunately, it had to be virtual. We really were visualizing this process as an opportunity to engage in person with our community. But that doesn't mean that the community is not participating. We had over 1,000 residents respond to a survey that we conducted. And that's, I know in 160,000 population, it's not statistically significant, but that is a high rate of participation historically for our city. That's a high rate of feedback from our residents that are telling us exactly what they want to see and that are helping us develop a strategic plan. So we're well into the public engagement and drafting of a new citywide strategic plan. We've already solicited feedback. And like I said, we've had over 1,000 residents, and we look forward to additional open houses. They're going to be virtual for now, but we're going to be rolling out a new plan in the spring of next year. And it's going to include a vision, a mission, and values. And this is just really important because we all know and love Corona, and we could probably tell you exactly how we feel about it, but it's been hard for us to visualize it and say it in a succinct way, to define where we are and where we're going in the next 15 years. And so this is going to do that. And I'm very excited that we're well underway and that 2020 has yielded those results. And lastly, in the high performing government series, we have undertaken and are well underway with our organizational assessment and audit. Our consultant is working closely with staff. They are reviewing the existing organizational structure and the challenges relating to the division of labor, span of control, chain of command, authority, responsibility, delegation, and accountability. All the things that you as business owners and entrepreneurs probably know inherently that need to be continuously assessed in order to make sure that the city is producing the services as efficiently and as cost effectively as possible. And that assessment is not going to sit on the shelf. It will be implemented. We will really look at the organizational structure and revisit how it is that we are delivering these services. So that's 2020. It's not everything, but those are the highlights that I really wanted to talk to you about, of things that we have completed in 2020, and some of them are still underway. Now shifting gears into what we're looking forward to in 2021, what our goals are. And to be honest, they're quite simple. The city's goals are going to be implementing the strategic plan, right? So going right back and giving the community exactly what the community has told us that they expect of us. It will be a focus on a strong economy, a focus on a strong local economy, especially coming out of COVID. And it will be delivering on the services that residents expect and developing this sense of place. My personal goals are well in line with those. They haven't changed since I've come into council. They continue to be a focus on public safety, a focus on economic development, and a focus on quality of life. I want us to have a safe, thriving, and inclusive Corona. That's what I've always wanted. It is what I believe everyone really wants. It's a catch-all for all of the issues that we're trying to address. Personally, I will continue to foster a cooperative approach to policy setting, partnering with you all at the chamber, with our local nonprofits, and with regional partners in order to really address the larger policy issues that we see are concerning us And I will lead the effort to foster a sense of place. This is my hometown. I want Corona to be the premier place where folks want to stay, where they want to grow, where they want to have their families and have their families go to school and then come back and retire or what have you. This is going to be the city of choice. So I will continue to lead on that front. And with that, I will take any questions that you all may have.
Vice Mayor, thank you so much. Wonderful presentation, great information for us, both looking at the year and looking forward. I really appreciate you spending the time to prepare and deliver this today. Do we have any questions for Jackie, Stephanie?
We do have a couple. The first is a comment letting you know that it's guaranteed for the municipal code that the vice mayor becomes mayor.
Oh, there we go.
Early congrats.
56th.
Okay, then moving into the questions. Recent Prop X, the 1% sales tax appears to have passed. How is that money going to be used? What oversight committee is being formed? And how can the businesses weigh in on this committee?
Great question. I am actually quite proud that the sales tax measure passed. It's imperative and will lead us to really stabilize our budget for the years to come and provide the services that we know our community wants and expects from us with public safety, with parks, with infrastructure, the whole nine. And so we are going to, that tax does not go into effect until July 1st. The budget conversations begin with the new year. We will have a council budgetary meeting in February. This will be a Brown Acted meeting. It will be open to the public, and we will be addressing the sales tax plan. This money will be highly tagged. You will know where these dollars are going, and you will see, and it is my full intent for you to see tangible results of Measure X and know that your trust in city has yielded these results. As for oversight, you have elected your oversight. We are your council, and we, just like we do with the 350 plus budget annually that we vote on, this will be part of that. So you will absolutely be a part of the process. We want you there. We want you, you don't have to wait until February to talk to us about your priorities for the next fiscal year's budget. You can talk to us at any time, but the budget conversations will begin in February, and sales tax measure dollars will be part of that conversation.
Thank you. Next question. It's encouraging to hear about a professional business plan. How can we be sure once the plan is adopted that the city implements the plan?
Well, these will, the goal is, right, to set SMART goals that you can both, you know, that they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, that they're timely. And so it's not going to be a plan that just sits on a shelf. There will be benchmarks. We will have, like all of the other services, the staff will be routinely coming back to us with reviews and assessments of where we are on the plan, just like with the strategic plan. And so, you know, we are, as your council, our duty is to, you know, our fiduciary duty is to protect our budget, and also to make sure that we are making good on the commitments that we have made. And so we will hold staff accountable, you hold us accountable, we hold each other accountable. But the goal is that this plan is not some lofty pie in the sky, you know, if we came about and suddenly turned into, you know, I don't know, a different city. It's got to be attainable. It's got to be something that we can deliver on, and it will be timely and benchmarked. So, so I fully expect that whoever asked that question will likely be a part of the accountability group who's making sure that we make good on this plan.
Thank you. Next question. When will we have more details on the 6th Street development?
So the downtown redevelopment revitalization plan, we are currently, we have issued the RFP for professional services. That firm has not been secured yet. I can be sure to let the chamber know once that firm has been selected. I'm sure we'll have an update from the council as well when that happens. So I don't have a date for you, but it is in motion.
Who do they contact for the volunteer cleanup program if somebody would like to get involved?
Well, I will give you a link, but we have an actual sign up form. I don't know if one of my colleagues might be able to pop it into the. I see Wes is on, and he's just always Johnny on the spot. So maybe he can put it in in the chat. But for now, you can just email us. We had a link go up via email if you receive our Corona Connections. We also recently had a video, and that also included a link on signing up for our next community cleanup. And so then you just get added to the listserv and you hear about the next cleanup, and hopefully you join us.
Thank you. Okay, last question. Oh, you know what? This one is actually for the chamber, so I will include it in the wrap-up email, and you're good.
Okay, thank you all so much. This has been really, really great. I appreciate the opportunity again to talk to you all, and I look forward to our continued partnership. Thank you.
Vice Mayor, on behalf of the chamber, just thank you again so much. I'm going to give you one more piece of Corona City Council trivia, because that's what I do. It's part of the worthless information now. I believe this is the only time in Corona history that 3 graduates of Corona High School have served together.
Is that right?
On a number of occasions, there's been 2, and I do not believe there were ever 3 before when I looked at the list this morning.
Well,
anyway, so thank you.
Wes, myself, who's the third?
Jason.
Oh, Jason, that's right.
Yeah. See, he was so long ago that it's almost ancient history, although he was after me. But anyway, thank you so much. And look forward to hearing more from you as we move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I want to thank all of our speakers today for coming here. This was a very important call today. We got so much good information that we can all apply and help us as we make plans for 2021. Again, if you're not a member of this Chamber of Commerce, please contact our membership development specialist, Robert Yanez. His phone number's there, and contact information on the screen in front of you. If you join, remember you get a free ad in our business news that comes out. We continue to grow. The more members we have, the more sway we have, the more powerful we are, and the more impact we can have on making Corona the great town that it has been for well over 130 years. Kim, do you have something you can tell us?
Yes, we also highly encourage you to follow us on your social media accounts. We have a lot going on and we don't want you to miss a beat. It's the best way to get real-time updates on what's in store for you, our members. Don?
Once again, we'd like to thank today's sponsor, Peterson Brothers Construction Companies. The founder of this company, Eldon Peterson, is a longtime supporter of the Corona Chamber of Commerce. We truly support Eldon, his generosity and his support in all of our projects and what we do. Next time you need an architectural design, technology, and service, give them a call. They are very versatile. I mean, homes, churches. When I needed a couple of historic markers on Grand Boulevard, Eldon Peterson Brothers Company bailed me out and put those attractive things together. So please consider them for your future needs. And once again, I would like to thank Peterson Brothers Construction. If you want to be a sponsor for this call, please contact the chamber office and we can hook you up. Kim.
Yes, next week we will continue discussions on our legislative platform and building resources in 2021. We'll lay out our plan to fight new taxes on your business. And we will also hear from our new City Council member, Tony Daddario, and the new Western Municipal Water District Board member, Fazia Rizvi. Register today with the link on your screen.
And then the following week will be our final meeting, December 16th, our final meeting of 2020. And we're going to lay out steps to take to strengthen your business heading into the new year. We're going to hear from new City Council member Tom Richens and have a preview of the next NLP Master Series from Paul Webb. Please be sure to register for both of these events. You don't want to miss this, and the links are on the screen. Well, this has been really a valuable call today. Thank you all for joining us. Again, a final thank you to our sponsor and to those who participated. I will dismiss it at this time and talk to you again next week. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone.